I guess he's pretty upset about the lack of representation.
But the man admitted in his memoir that he was drunk the entire time he was on set back in '93. So what the fuck do we care on what his thoughts are about this?
Too true.
All right, guys, I don't have a lot of time.
Are you still ducking subpoenas?
I bet you're hiding in your closet right now, hoping the lawyers don't find you.
I refuse to answer that, Joe.
Yeah, keep pleading the fifth, fugitive.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm loving this.
Guys, come on. Let's get this going and review the Super Mario movie.
That's what you got me on here to talk about? The shitty Mario movie?
Here we go.
You gotta be kidding me.
I have better things to do with my time.
You know we're talking about the one from Illumination, right? Not the 1993 one.
I can still remember the year, Joe, but can you even remember breakfast?
What the hell, Donnie? This movie was near perfection. What can you possibly hate on it?
I bet it's something with Peach.
Peach is too OP.
I fucking knew it.
She's such a badass at everything that she never stumbles or fails. In fact, she admits that the very first time she tries out the obstacle course in her life, she's able to complete it with flying colors. That's some Rey Skywalker bullshit right there.
It's only Rey Skywalker bullshit if Peach was the main focus of the movie, which she isn't. And besides, she explains that she was able to do it because she was raised there.
And being a human instead of a toad probably helped her chances as well.
Either way, your shitty argument is flawed because she's been this way since Super Mario 2 and fucking Smash.
Super Mario 2 was a dream inside Mario's head. That shit never really happened.
This is a kid's movie, Donnie, based on a kid's game from the 80s.
That was made for adults using the nostalgia tool.
Come on.
You're grasping at straws here, Don. The movie transcends generations and will be happily viewed by everyone for decades to come.
The point is that even though she made it on the first try, she doesn't rub it in Mario's face, but instead tries to make him feel better about himself. In fact, most of the movie she's completely supportive and even cheers him on.
Besides, Mario almost makes it with having only trained for a day, because he's the one having a hero's journey, not Peach, just in case you didn't see that through your spray-tanned eyes. And even despite his failure, she still wants to take him just because he nearly completed it.
And then immediately calls him unimportant to all her subjects.
Jesus, this idiot.
You're nitpicking at this point, Flop Top. There's nothing wrong with how her character is. Now let's move the fuck on.
Fine.
You gotta admit, Mario's training montage was lit.
Facts. I had chills during that scene, not gonna lie.
Listen, I'll concede that the montage was fire.
No cap.
And that watching Mario use the mushroom was epic as fuck. But listening to that Bonnie Tyler song during it was so cringe.
I'm not gonna disagree with that one.
Same. I would have actually liked to hear more of the original Nintendo score than another generic 80s pop song. However, I would also like to add that this was most likely done because of the decade the original games were released, so I'm letting it slide.
Look, I love Take On Me as much as the next president, but would it have been so hard to maybe play more of the DKC soundtrack in that moment? The original music from the SNES was so dope I could just sit back and forget about all my problems.
Is that what you're trying to do right now?
Fuck off, Bear.
At least we got the DK rap blasting out when my boy makes his entrance.
True, but it soured knowing that the studio didn't even give credit to the OG composer. He was not happy about it.
Ouch.
Look, that does suck, but it's a small stumble. The film was fantastic, both in graphics and audio, and although we get real-world songs sprinkled in here and there, the OG score is roaring away for most of the movie. They even kicked us off with the theme from the 1989 cartoon. That was fucking dope.
You got a point.
Not to mention Bowser's top-tier piano song.
That's fucking right. We haven't even talked about the king himself.
He shows that this isn't just world domination for him, but that he wants happiness. He actually loves the princess, albeit a little inappropriately.
He's never met her, yet he uses his minions to stalk her every move. Sound familiar, Creepy Joe?
He uses his wealth to entice women and trap them into marrying him, so you're one to talk, Orange Man.
If you two are done playing grab-ass, I'd like to get this out of the way right now. I will admit that when I heard about the casting, I was very skeptical.
Of course.
We all were.
But this is one of those films where I'm glad my expectations were wrong. Jack Black was a great Bowser, and even Chris Pratt was acceptable with his performance. Seth Rogen was,
Seth doesn't have range, he just talked.
True, not as strong as the others, but as long as I wasn't pulled out of the immersion for shitty voice acting, I'm satisfied. Which this movie did not disappoint.
I don't care what you say, putting Charles Martinet as their father with only a few lines is such a travesty to me, and then to rub our faces in it by having him do the actual Mario voice on a separate character? Shameful.
Jesus, Don, we get that you're pissed, but calm down, it's not bad to pass the torch.
The man was robbed, and I know that feeling all too well, Steely Joe.
Oh my God, it was 3 years ago, you big fat baby, get over it.
Shut up, guys, and focus. I'll admit that having Charles not be Mario gives me a bad taste, but I'm going to agree with Joe.
Trash.
It's not enough to condemn the entire film.
Garbage.
In fact, the only flaw I can think of was the runtime. It felt too short, barely getting it over an hour and a half. The pacing suffered, making it feel rushed in areas.
Some places would have benefited from being fleshed out like the Darklands. Honestly, my gripe is that Luigi didn't get much screen time at all. But I'm sure a Haunted Mansion sequel is in the works.
The story was stale as shit, and the ending felt rushed. They destroy half of Brooklyn and are praised for it. And then what? Are we just supposed to believe that they just left their family to go live in the Mushroom Kingdom, abandoning their dreams of being plumbers?
Kind of like when you abandon being a TV star to be a wall-building, wig-wearing, spray-tanning lying piece of shit president.
Wow.
Jesus, Joe, what the fuck? We're still friends here.
I'm sorry. It's just that his arguments aren't really that valid and seem like little jabs to nitpick.
Yeah, what's going on, Donnie? Something feels off with you tonight. Well?
They didn't put Wario in the movie.
Really?
Are you serious? That's it?
They're childhood rivals. So when they show them as kids, I expected Wario to show up and stomp out Luigi's blocks. But instead, we get some shitty sunglasses wearing kid. It was a missed opportunity.
That's understandable,
True.
but not enough to sway my opinion.
Also true.
Whatever, let's get this done.
Okay then. Joe?
I give it a 9 easily, a couple flaws, but for an origin story, it was pretty good. Great world building, fun cameos, and a solid plot.
Fuck that. 7. No booze. No Wario. Cringy music choices. Shit pacing. Spend an entire second act for a Kong army that didn't even matter in the end, and I still find Peach too overpowered.
Get off that misogynistic bandwagon, Donnie. She was a well-written character that showed compassion and support to Mario. It's not her fault that she knew how to work the power-ups of her own fucking world.
Stop trying to impress Michelle and tell us what you really think.
I think between us this film is a high 8 out of 10, but I'm not doing fucking decimals. It was a fun movie for the family, which in the end isn't bad.
Fine.
Good lord, what a fucking ride.
Yeah, it got too real there a few times. But on the bright side, Nintendo seems pretty serious about this, so maybe they'll do a Metroid film, or Zelda.
Yeah. Or maybe they'll expand on Donkey Kong Country.
We can hope.
Hey, did you guys see that Capcom added mercenaries to the 4-make?
Yeah, but they also put in those shitty microtransactions too.
Does that mess with the tier score?
Nah, they just cancel each other out for now.